Introducing the Poet Life Podcast. Go check it out today on your favorite platforms, including iTunes, Apple Music, and the website, thepoetlife.com.
Find a way. Find a way.
Peace, everyone. What's going on? This is the Poet Life Podcast. You are now tuned into the Poet Life Podcast. I'm J. Rod D, along with Christoph Jenkins.
Yep.
We're going to bring to you another episode with a talented, phenomenal, amazing guest we have tonight, Bianca J. Jackson, who is a LinkedIn expert, speaking the language for independent artists, independent poets, to step out of their shells if they're working a 9 to 5 and feel kind of at a dead end point, to get out, step out there, be confident within themselves, to brand themselves as their own independent entity, and step into the network of the larger poetry industry and help shape and expand it to take it to the next level. So Miss Bianca J. Jackson, thank you for joining us on the Poet Life Podcast.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Miss Bianca, talk to us for a second. You know, not everybody is knowledgeable about LinkedIn. I know everybody, though, is knowledgeable about all of the notifications they get, that emails that they get, that we have a new connection. You know, I think for a lot of people, that is the extent of what we know about LinkedIn.
Right.
But as it relates to the poet, and, you know, our motto is to uplift the poetry community and to build the poetry industry, right? And I think this is so perfect for what we're trying to do, because you know, from what I know, it seems like LinkedIn is like the Facebook for professionals.
Yeah, I remember you saying that before. So let me just give you a couple of stats for all those people who like numbers, right?
Okay.
So let's break this down. So in the US, the average person makes about $59,000. The average LinkedIn user makes about 75, right? So first off the bat, like if you want to give yourself a $16,000 raise, you want to be on LinkedIn. So that's the first thing, right?
Wow.
Look at your face. So that. I like those types of reactions that I get from people when I tell them this. So
that's good.
Yeah. The second thing is that think about TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. How many people on there that you're encountering actually have like decision-making ability, right? Decision-making power. On LinkedIn, out of every 5 users, 4 have that ability.
Okay.
They decide something, right? They decide where to spend the money. They influence decisions on who to hire. So it's just like, I tell people all the time, stop playing around on Facebook, watching cat videos, watching World Star, you know, watching all these relationship comedy things, and like really put your energy somewhere where someone can write you a check, open a door for you.
Right.
Like, you definitely just want to, everyone's spending so much time on social media. It's just like divert just a little bit of attention to LinkedIn and start to see the change of what happens with you and your business. So.
Okay. Now let me ask you, because I've been playing around with LinkedIn a little bit, and you know, I have no, you're right. I've been working around with LinkedIn a little bit, and so I have a 9 to 5, right? And is it possible to have your 9 to 5 page, if you will, with your resume and all of your 9 to 5 work that you've done, and also have a separate page to speak to your artistry, so your employer is not all in your business?
Yeah, but it's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work to maintain 2 pages, and I get it. I normally advise, you know, my clients to just try to get it to 1, but if they are really like, you know what, I don't want nobody in my business, all right, we go ahead and create that other page.
Okay.
Yeah, it's totally possible. It's just about which one you're going to put the energy into. So if you know you don't want to continue looking, not necessarily leveraging the one that you have your resume on, and you want to put all your energy into like your artistry, your brand as a poet, then you can really go hard in that space, right?
Okay.
There's different types of content that you can put up. You can start building your community. I like to call it your ecosystem of whoever it is that you're trying to target, and not just who you're trying to target, all the people that you're going to need to help support them to give them the best experience possible, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I really believe in.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out, because wouldn't it, especially for employers, right? Wouldn't it be confusing if you're pushing two things at one time? Like, aren't they going to be saying, all right, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to be an artist full time? Or are you trying to be a business analyst full, you know?
Well, so in those cases where it seems a little bit far off, then yes, you could confuse people, right?
Yeah.
Whereas let's just say you're a social worker, and a lot of the poetry that you write is about life, right? And betterment of life. To me, that's related. So you can make those two things work.
I see. Okay. I understand. So if you have a full-time job that's somewhat related to your art, then it would behoove you to kind of seamlessly sync the two.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah, no. There's no however. I think
okay.
it's beautiful when you can, right? Because then what happens is that as you start to show your artistry, people are like, oh wow, I didn't know you did that, right? I didn't know you sang. I didn't know you wrote songs. I didn't know you wrote poetry. Like all those things, and you're just like, oh well, we're having, I don't know, a holiday party. Can you come in and perform something, right? Or we're having a fundraiser. Can you come in and perform something, right? So leveraging the network that you have now for your art is actually beautiful. Like, I don't know, to me, that's simple.
It is when you have a cool job, when you have a cool supervisor, that's not wondering if you're writing poetry during your during
Yeah,
your
yeah,
9 to 5,
definitely.
because you have to, when you're in your artistry and you're looking to grow it, you have to use social media consistently, right? And if my employer that my LinkedIn page is synced to sees me posting during the day, those were my anxieties when it comes to LinkedIn. Like, you know, I don't have any connection on Facebook to my job. None of my coworkers or my friends. I block every. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a little.
I get it. I get it. Because I mean, like, I ran into some issues with my last corporate job as I was building my brand on LinkedIn. But I'll say this, you can avoid all that if you want to by just creating a whole separate page and just putting all your energy there and leaving your resume page up, and you're not competing with it, right? But like, again, you're going to have to rebuild a whole new network with this new page, and that's the only downside, right? So you already have a whole bunch of people on the one page that you're using that already like you, know you, trust you. Of course, there's going to be some of your coworkers on there, or you can go through the whole process of removing them if you want to do that.
Right.
They're not in your business. It just really depends on what your tolerance is and whether or not they're going to be cool with you saying, hey, like, I have some pieces that I just want to share with the world. You might see some stuff, right? And one of the things I think is really important is if you have like a social media scheduler, having that, post for you like at night or really early in the morning before you're technically on duty, right? So that should kind of cut out some of those issues.
Okay. Some of the things that I thought about as an artist, someone trying to get the work out there, using social media now, because everyone's home, everyone's on their phone, or everyone's on the computer or somewhere tech savvy. It's trying to be more wise with using that time and using that. You said the scheduler, that's been something that I've been put onto. That's been good. But when it comes to LinkedIn, I'm thinking, okay, in addition to making a new page, because I'm a teacher and also perform poetry and also write songs, and it's like, I don't want the content to be confused the way they think, okay, I heard Mr. Jefferson cuss, so he's not teaching my kids, what I'm saying? Like, and I want because my kids like my music, you know, so my students love the music, and they're supporting and posting, passing their friends. I don't want my boss to get a whiff of that and be like, oh, he's doing this on the clock, and you know, so how do I, or someone in my position, like you said, I guess, can you add on some more of using your career and your art if it is mergeable or able to merge?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a great question. So here's what I think you should look at or think about, right? Every social media platform has like their core users, right? So LinkedIn is professional. So professional people who have pretty nice jobs or people who are running businesses. So you got to find that intersection between your music and that audience, and whether or not there's any crossover to the professional people, to the business people on LinkedIn. Right?
Okay.
If there is, then post that content that you think that they will resonate with. And if not, don't post it there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that can be a downfall, especially when you're trying to apply for a new job, because it's in a position where, or I'm in a position where it's like I want to step out there and go independent and go on my own entrepreneur all the way. But also want to make sure I have the security. And I listened to a recent interview that you did. Well, not too recent, but an interview that you did when you were speaking on you did a training, and some of the one group in particular was speaking about you know, some of the woes, some of the concerns with the jobs they had, and not having the confidence to go out there, not even knowing how to make anything happen. And one thing you said was everything will come together, and that's simple. You know, it's simple, and sometimes you lose sight of that, because as an artist, you have timelines that sometimes you put on yourself or others you're working with, and it's like, hey, at the end of the day, it's going to happen. It always ends up happening. So how can someone carry that mindset from their artistry to the professional setting when it comes to doing that as well?
Well, I mean, as an artist, aren't you a professional?
Yes.
So I mean, like, just start with that, right?
Yeah. I mean, more so like because the confidence, you can't make someone be confident. You know what I'm saying? So the incentive is like, what are you looking for, and what do you want in the end? And oftentimes, like, people don't know that what they need is right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that life coach aspect as well. That I guess I wanted to get more into, because I know there's jewels in the actual, you know, method. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, the real funny thing about what you just said is that the answer that you're always seeking is always right there. So it's always in front of you. It's whether or not you choose to accept that it's right there, right? That someone is either saying it or is staring you in your face. But when it comes to confidence, though, like I'm a true believer in just doing things scared. Because at least you can say you did it, right? And then if it fails, it fails. And then you're just like, all right, what can I do to make sure that it doesn't happen again? Or if it doesn't fail and it blows out your wildest expectations, you're like, damn, like, what if I didn't try, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I would just push. I would look at life like this. There are so many people too afraid to stand up and to do what they know, what they need to do, and then they live with regret. So don't live with regret. Like, just go out there and just do it. And especially when it comes to art, I'll say this: over the past couple of years, I haven't seen anyone quite post anything artistic to LinkedIn. That's starting to change. So what's happening is that I've seen, you know, some rapper. He was posting stuff, but his stuff was way too explicit. We're like, he had like girl videos. I was like, sir, please stop. But other art, like painters and sculptors, are starting to like release their stuff on the platform, and I'm loving it, because I actually run an art gallery here in Baltimore. So I wish that more creatives would, one, be on the platform and actually use it, and then post their work. I'll tell you this: I wound up hiring a graphic designer because he had a profile on LinkedIn. Of course, he didn't have any of his work there, which I really wish he did, but I had to go stalk him on IG, and that's all his stuff, right? So imagine if I could have made a faster decision if he had just had some of his portfolio on the platform. Like, if I wasn't insistent, like, I'm gonna find out as much as I can about this young man, I might have never hired him. And then from me hiring him that once, I've hired him again, and then I referred him to somebody else. So he's now designing a children's book.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's just like, for people who want to hire artists, right? who may not even know who you are, but just because you have a profile on the platform, you can beat out hundreds of thousands of other artists because you just happen to be in the right place.
Okay.
There's all types of bags waiting for y'all on LinkedIn. Stop playing.
Nah, for real. Another thing I've noticed is the interpersonal skill. Something I read on your website, and it spoke about your first job and how you learn hard work, customer service, and those things carry with you, and how to treat people, and being in a place where I know a lot of people feel this, like, man, if I was the boss, I wouldn't treat people like this. You know, I wouldn't be on their shoulder, like behind the back like this. And how does it feel to know that you're actually bringing another generation of leaders who are going to be the boss that they want to be? You know, so which they have.
That's a heavy question, and shout out to you for doing all types of research. But I'll say this: where I'm at right now, I'm excited to open doors of opportunities for artists. Like that's why I kind of gave up my corporate job, came to Baltimore to do the art gallery thing, to work with artists. I think that you guys are such guardians of the future. That's the best way that I can describe it. Like the way that you see things and how they could be, I have no problem opening the door to that. So it feels good to be in this space, to one, created a platform for myself, but then also created a platform for artists. And like when, Christoph came to me with this opportunity to speak here, I was really excited because I'm trying to do more in the artistic and the creative community. Is just like, oh my God, there's so much money just out here, not hiding behind some troll on Twitter, not hiding behind the cat videos on Facebook. Like there are real CEOs, business owners, bosses on LinkedIn who are just like, you know what, we want something different. Something different. So but there's not a lot of different on there. And I know a lot of creatives stay away from it because they think it's square. Like, it's too stuffy, it's too professional. And it's like, but you have the opportunity to make it colorful. So come on and make it colorful.
No, that's really good. That's really good because like you said, we're trying to build the poetry industry, and where the industry builders are, they're on LinkedIn. The CEOs and the folks that have the monetary resources are on LinkedIn. All of our friends are on, Facebook.
Ding, 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 ding,
right. So I guess it's the question for the artist: are you doing it for the likes and the whatever else on Facebook, or are you really trying to make some things happen? And so I would ask you, should the artist prepare like programs like within their art and projects that they can present on LinkedIn to kind of draw those persons in, like for a poet that also like for J. Roy D, he's an educator as well. Would it increase his chances to present some artistic educational programs on there, and knowing that that's the thing they're looking for? Or
listen here, so I'm just about to blow your mind right now. There's about to be millions of kids who are home this summer, and parents are already losing their cool because they had to homeschool for like the last 2 months, right? And they're looking for other activities for their kids to do that don't drive them crazy. So imagine out of all the schools that you had like a creative writing class, creative poetry class, songwriting class, a virtual camp, all these things. You have parents. Of course, you can find the parents on Facebook, but you can find whole communities, whole nonprofits, whole companies who may want this type of content. So again, stop playing on these other platforms.
Yeah.
Put something together for these kids so they can start driving their parents crazy.
Got it.
And like you would create something really new. I've been seeing a lot of women talk about them putting together virtual summer camps, but I don't quite know exactly what they're doing. I haven't seen too many people talk about creative, artistic stuff for the summer for kids. So this is the complete lane that the creators and the poets can ride in. Like, I'm just stop playing.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. You know, we have Poet Life Academy for kids K through 12, and we are actually gearing up and preparing a summer camp, a digital summer camp, like public speaking through spoken word.
I love it.
Yeah. So we're excited about that. We'll be linking up with some professional spoken word artists to put that on.
Hey, let me jump in here. Did you post any of this on LinkedIn?
Did we do what?
Did you post any of this that you're going to be doing this summer?
You know, I haven't. No, not yet. I will.
You need to do it like Tuesday, if not tomorrow.
I will, for sure. I definitely will, because you're getting me excited about LinkedIn again. Because I was excited before, but then I got a little leery, you know, with the 995 thing. But I know that you can create your own business page. Correct? Yes.
Exactly. So you can post all your stuff there
on the business page, and they can't really say anything to you, really, because that's your business, not their business. Okay, gotcha. So you can have your personal 9-to-5 resume page, and then you can have your business page.
Yeah, but your business page needs to be connected to something.
Okay, yeah, so it can be connected.
Yeah.
And so if your job says, all right, which I see you posted something on your business page, well, you know, my cousin, my wife, she posts during the day. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's tons of opportunity, and I can tell you summer camp is the biggest thing that I keep seeing people talk about. I was thinking about doing a summer camp, and I was like, I got to do some other stuff. So I put that on the back burner.
What would you do a summer camp on?
So my background is tech.
Okay.
So I considered doing like a virtual STEM camp. And also I thought about doing like a virtual art camp too.
Nice.
So taking everyday household items and having kids make art out of them.
With you as the teacher?
No, there's an artist that I work with, and she would be the teacher.
Got it. So you'd be doing what I'd be doing, or I will be doing, and that's hiring the actual teachers to do what they do.
Exactly.
Got you. Would you suggest, especially in our position where you hire somebody else, would you suggest, how many students would you say would be a good size of a class on Zoom or whatever platform?
I think for kids, probably something small, like 10.
Because the attention spans.
Yeah.
Because
they're already zoomed out.
Oh, definitely.
Out.
Yeah.
My kids are like, listen, I don't want to see her again. you know, because my kids they don't even like have conversation. I have like kids under 5, 5 and under, and they're just screaming on it, just making noises, and like, let's learn how to have a conversation. Ask them, what are you doing today? And they're like, listen, Daddy, get out of here. We just want to scream, okay? But so all right. So give us a scenario, and you've given us a wealth of information already. So I know the artistic education part, right? But what about for an artist that is trying to get booked to perform? Well, even now with the COVID situation.
Yeah. So let me tell you this. You know how many people are still having weddings?
People are still having weddings?
Yeah. They're calling them social distancing weddings. So they're having like virtual weddings, and they're having weddings with very small parties of people. So for us who are doing virtual weddings, this is perfect for your singers and your poets. who could get on live stream and do their pieces for the wedding. And that is now broadcast to everyone who attends the virtual wedding, right? And then they have a recording of it. So there's still ways out here to get the bag.
So basically, do your research.
Yeah.
Stay up on the times, and stop, like you said, stop playing on social media.
Yeah, like it's so crazy that we have so much power and money sitting in our pockets and in our hands, right? But we would rather play Fortnite, listen to verses. Oh, shout out to verses.
Versus.
But like, there's so many different opportunities. I would just look at everything alternatives, how people are still kind of getting together without physically getting together. So what are the live streaming trends? Like when I started to see people were having virtual weddings, I was just like, oh wow, like
yeah.
Okay.
Virtual funerals and everything.
Yeah, so even funerals, right? So performing, so whatever events that you performed at before, there's still opportunities. It's just now it's virtual.
Got it. So, all right. So I want to make sure that we go get some specific details. Like, it would behoove the artist, the poet, to invest in themselves, and get some equipment, because the world has changed in less than 3 months, literally just flipped on its head, and now everything is digital. But but that's what we said we wanted. A lot of people, we said we wanted to be able to work from home and be with the kids and so on and so forth. So this is actually the perfect opportunity for you to do so. So the basics: one, get a laptop, get headphones, or get a podcast microphone, whatever, those. Get on YouTube and learn about the equipment that you need to get, backdrop and things of that nature. So when you do receive, I guess, the opportunities to perform, you want to make sure your scenery looks good, and along with your audio and your visuals. So those are the things that you want to at least get from the outset, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple. Most people have a computer, get some lights, right? So I actually just bought my lights from Amazon. I should have bought them a long time ago, right?
I'm gonna turn my light on.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even have a mic, so I'm just talking to you through my computer. I probably should get a mic. And it's simple. Like you can start small and build up, right? If you don't have all the money for those things, but at the very least, go get lights because you don't super dark, right? And people, the lighting looks bad. But I mean, again, there's just so many different opportunities. I would look up virtual weddings, virtual funerals. There's still people doing maternity shoots. Like, I mean, it's just crazy. Just crazy.
I mean, it makes sense. Life has to go on, I guess.
Yeah. So let me say this real quick. So you had mentioned earlier about what they can post on their profiles, right? So if you got old footage or even old audio of you performing, right? As long as it will appeal to the professional business owner, I would put that on my profile, right? So I like to tell people there's a section that's called feature where you can put media. So yeah, so if you have performance, film,
like your portfolio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So almost like your artistic resume.
Yeah. So remember when I was saying before that I had found a gentleman who was a graphic designer, but he didn't have any of his work on there. I was looking for that section. And I'm just like, now I gotta go, find him on IG, go look at his work, then go to look at his website. So I did all of that before I even reached out to him.
Okay.
So, but if I didn't find his IG, if I didn't find his website, that would have just been a done deal when he could have made it extremely easy for me by just having his work on his LinkedIn.
Got it. Okay. I see. Okay.
Shoot, one of the questions about your tech background, because you spent 12 years doing everything outside of what you're doing right now.
Right.
And now what you're doing right now is helping everybody that was connected to what you're doing 12 years prior.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect example of giving back to where you came from. Can you speak some more on, I guess, the tech background and how it has? I mean, obviously, it's had helped you tremendously now, but I guess how it makes more sense nowadays, and it kind of like because they've been pushed. So my school, so to say, is a STEM academy, or was a STEM academy before they took it away because we didn't have too much science and tech going on in the building. So now it's just a regular, public school outside of being charter school. The tech background that you have is beneficial because that's what certain schools are needing. More technology is missing. A lot of the parents aren't even savvy with technology or aren't even wise with how to use it as far as the kids are concerned. Your tech background can speak towards that. How has that been helping, or how can that help even the professionals who are in the world of education to get that across to the parents? Because that's kind of like a big gap. And then sometimes the kids don't even know how to communicate it as well.
Okay, so you asked, I think, a couple of different questions in here. So let me see if I can break that.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it down.
No, it's okay. So my tech background has helped me tremendously, right? So, being in different really huge organizations and see how they use tech and the types of systems that they put together, it exposed me to a lot. And probably the most valuable place that this helped me in putting up systems for my business, right? So I have a really deep understanding of like how websites work, how they track you, how they get information, how the information is stored, how you can export the information, because data is king, right? I think now having some type of tech background and tech understanding could help you get things done a whole lot faster. And it's helpful for me, especially when it comes to LinkedIn, because I know how the algorithm works, which is kind of weird. But it's helpful because, I've kind of dissected it and I've used it to my advantage, right? Where I was able to get, I think I have like 42,000 followers on LinkedIn now.
Wow.
So, and then like 30,000 connections. So that's the max. And then the followers can keep going up and up and up. Okay. So, but I hacked the algorithm, not necessarily just for me, but all of the future people that I knew were becoming after me. That for all the people that I knew that wouldn't necessarily have access to resources or platform. So I built it not just for me, but a whole stream of people that were unknown faces at the time, right? So that has been helpful. And anyone that I've kind of connect on LinkedIn, my business advisor says, I ride your coattails on LinkedIn because every time you post, people come follow me and I just start laughing. But it's true, when I post different people or I tag them in different things, they now have a new audience that wants to check them out. Or, well, who is Bianca talking about now, right? So kind of like that influencer type of vibe or whatever. But when you had mentioned kids, I think children have a very unique opportunity because phones are like pencils to them. And they can do so much. And I just hope that parents use technology as a way of teaching their kids and not distracting them. The phones and computers open up gateways to information that we didn't have access before the internet, right? So I just hope that, in addition to 5 hours of Fortnite, there's 5 hours of like how to code without learning how to code, right? There's tons of websites where you can build mobile apps, right? Or starting to learn about artificial intelligence and machine learning and quantum computing, all these new forms of technology that will take over the world. That's way more advanced than building apps and websites. So yeah, there's so much to say about that. But I'll just say this: at the very least, be on LinkedIn. I'm just gonna go back to LinkedIn. So have a profile there. If you can, show your work so that if someone does find you, they can see, okay, this piques my interest. So let me inquire more. Let me go down a rabbit hole and look for the website if it's not connected, or look for them on IG or Twitter. But like, just give yourself a fighting shot. I think a lot of times our communities, Black and brown, we're left away from the table, no seat at the table, no way to get to the bag because we're just not in the right places. And so when people tell us about the right places, they're like, nah, I want to stay over here where I'm at. And I'm like, well, you can stay there if you want to and still the same issues that you're
Yeah.
facing, or you can try something different. And I think for I think for a lot of people, LinkedIn is going to be different, but it's going to be worth your time in your investment. So.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So practically, for the artist that is that has an art that is kind of somewhat linked somehow to their 9 to 5, go ahead and mesh the two. For the artist, for the poet that has some art that may have some language, or just uh, you know, that may just not sync well with their 9 to 5, create a business page,
Mhm.
even though it still may need to be connected to your personal page. At least you have an alibi to say, listen, this is my business page, this has nothing to do with my 9 to 5. Okay. But at least you now have a page that is dedicated to your art, and you're not seeing IT and all on the same page, right? So and I'm saying all of this because I'm speaking to myself, because that's what I am doing, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. So I'm really excited. Like, as soon as we get off this, I'm jumping back on LinkedIn
Yeah,
to
I'm about
get
to
the
say the
thing.
same thing.
I can't I can't wait until we. What is this? This is the third episode, so I can't wait till this goes out, and to utilize your network of 45,000.
Please do.
Hey,
Please do, because like I said before, LinkedIn needs some color, right? And I
Yeah,
don't mean like brown and
that's
black. I
good.
mean like artistic color.
That's
And
good.
what I'm starting to see is the conversations are changing on LinkedIn, right? So a couple of years ago, you would have never thought you would have saw um, social commentary, social impact, social justice type comments or articles. They're all over the place now. Like,
Yeah.
unfortunately, when the young man lost his life running, people started posting about it, and it garnered like hundreds of likes and comments and stuff. So the dialogue in a professional setting is changing. So that's really encouraging for any artist who has, social justice work, social impact work that they do, and that they perform pieces that they perform. It's like there's a space for you. There's always been a space, but now people are becoming more open to hearing these things, right? Because I guess on LinkedIn, we're getting a little bit more human.
Sure.
We're starting to care about
yeah,
everybody and not just certain types of people.
Right.
So, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And so on LinkedIn, the features, are they all the same like Facebook? You can tag. Obviously, you can tag people and use hashtags, like keywords, if you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So
Okay.
it's so funny because all the social media platforms begin to like mimic each other, right? So
Yeah.
if a feature is really popular, like, oh, how can we enable it? So on LinkedIn, you can do like LinkedIn Live, so you can like broadcast live. The problem is LinkedIn has locked it off, right? So you got to apply. They go check out whether or not you've done live streaming before. If you haven't, they don't approve you, or they're really slow to approve you. It's just weird, but I mean, there's definitely hashtags. There's tagging of people. There's trending content. I mean, like there's all types of stuff if you wanted to get into like marketing or whatever. But for those writers out there are some features where you can kind of display your work really artistically. So if
Okay.
you put it in like a PowerPoint, but you got a graphic designer to design, each verse, each bar, you can put up work like that, right? So I mean, like, there's tons of ways to put up really engaging
yeah.
content.
Okay.
And I would just say for anyone who has performance pieces, definitely put up your video, because video is the fastest way to get people to like, know and trust you.
Yeah.
So it's just like, if you have those pieces, put those up on your profile.
Would you also
Okay.
say that it would be good to get video testimonials from, say, your customers or your fans?
You can, but what works, so LinkedIn has a whole section where people can give you recommendations, and they're just text. and they sit at the bottom of your profile. So if you went to my profile, you'll see I have over 100. And I was very intentional about when I worked with people and I performed speaking and, did my training and stuff like that, that they would leave me recommendations.
Okay,
So
got it.
on there. Because there's no real way. Well, I mean, you could store video testimonials in that feature section, but I would rather see your work there.
Okay.
People telling me like how great you are, right?
Right.
Another section for that. Like, give me the goods.
Got
Let me see you on stage.
Gotcha. So basically, tell people to use the recommendation feature.
Yeah, and even you can request a recommendation from them.
Okay.
And then it just attached to your profile.
Do you know of an artist that has? Well, you gave an example of the graphic designer, but do you know of an artist that does anyone go viral on LinkedIn? Is that a thing on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it's a thing. There's a woman. She is killing it. Like every time I look up, she like posts every day, and I'm pretty sure she has like a scheduler or something that she's using.
Yeah, BuzzFeed or something.
Something like she every day is like thousands of likes and comments.
Really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous how much is going on that page. So yeah, I'm like looking around now as we're talking to see if there's any artists that stick out. The only thing that I know of right now, I've seen, because the art gallery is tied to painters. I've seen painters around the world post their work, and it's really awesome. So I just wish more of us would be on LinkedIn posting the work. It's just, I don't know, for some reason, creators really love IG, and I get it because it's visual and it's cool, right? But again, the painters who are posting their work from all around the world, they now have the eyes of a global audience. On IG, you might have that, but people kind of have to stumble across you, right? Or be following some type of hashtag. One of the really cool things that LinkedIn has done that I haven't really seen anyone else do is, so on my company page, I'm tied to certain hashtags, right? So let's just say painting is one of them.
Okay.
If someone makes a post and they use the painting hashtag and it starts trending around the world, it'll show me a notification on my company page that says, hey, do you want to comment on this post as your company? So then that's how I get exposure to everything around the world that's trending. I don't have to like click on YouTube's trending videos or anything like that. It comes to me. So I really like that.
I see. So it looks like to me, because you said, there aren't a lot of Black and brown, and even just artists in general on there, just really pushing it heavy on LinkedIn, that it would be it would be a tool that will allow you to stand out more in the eyes of the people that have the funds to pay you. And it's somewhat saturated on Instagram and Facebook and even TikTok now. So you might as I won't say you might as well, but you should go ahead and jump on LinkedIn and be this the superstar on there. Be the one standing out, being the poet, because that's how you get the gigs. That's how you get the deals, by standing out.
Yeah, so I mean, in business, because part of my background is business, is what they call blue ocean strategy, right? You go where you're needed, where there's really no competition. Right now, that's LinkedIn, especially for artists, right? And like I said, I'm a businesswoman, but I have a very artistic side. So I went to LinkedIn first to find an artist who was serious about their business, because to me, that means you're serious if you have a LinkedIn.
You're serious if you have a LinkedIn page. Ooh.
And then if he had his work, it would have been like an easy, I could have booked him right then and there, but it took some years for me to like catch up with him. And I'm just like, why are you making this too hard? I could have gave up and like found somebody else. But like for that project, I was very specific. I was opening a gallery in Baltimore. Therefore I wanted to use a Baltimore artist, and I wanted a Black man. So can you imagine, how, I wouldn't say difficult, but it got to a point where I'm just like, you know what, I might as well just go find somebody somewhere around the world. It don't even matter at this point. But I found them because then he helped bring more people to the space from the community. So it all worked out. Like I just want to work with community people.
Right.
So in Baltimore or urban cities, people who are really standing up for the people.
Yeah.
So you gotta have some type of message behind your work, or I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. So it's a no-brainer, really. It's a no-brainer, and it's like, okay, the question is, do you want to be popular or do you want to be booked? That's the question.
You took the word out of my mouth. Yeah.
Not to say that you can't get booked on Facebook from your friends and your family, you know, and Instagram, where you get DM'd, you know, but like you said, and that's kind of the saying, if you're serious, or if you have a LinkedIn page, then oh he's serious, or she's serious about what she's doing. Yeah. And if you have an actual portfolio with your work on your page, oh, she's really serious.
Yeah, and I would just say think what you have that is commercial, right? Because if you go with commercial,
there you go.
On other artistic, non-commercial stuff, like it's so crazy because when I reached out to the young man, I said, "Hey, can you design?" We were doing stickers for a crowdfunding campaign. He was like, "Yeah." And then his work was so dope, I allowed him to bring his personal work into my art gallery.
Nice.
So I hired him and let him have a free show. So it was just like, stop playing.
Yeah. I'm glad you said the word. I'm sorry, Jay, right there. I'm glad you said the word commercial, right? So you have the poet, and in our motto, we have the dichotomy. We have uplifting the poetry community, where there are friends and colleagues and poetry friends and family, you know, neighbors, right? Where we all love poetry. But there aren't a lot of deals and negotiations and transactions in the community. That's where the industry comes in, right? But we don't speak a lot about the poetry industry. We really, there aren't any hashtags, or there isn't a hashtag that says poetry industry. It all is 2 million uses of the hashtag poetry community, right? And so that speaks to the intent of what you're trying to do. So the question is, do you really want to do this full time? Right. And so if you do, you have to really speak in the mindset of, you know, I need to get in the lane where I can start making money. I need to do less busy work. And from what our conversation is where it's going, it's like Instagram and Facebook is like a lot of busy work. You know, you get distracted from the videos and the, you know, memes and things of that nature. But then LinkedIn is like where you get real productive and more intentional about where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do. So because we're going to keep speaking about building the poetry industry, because it's necessary for us to get commercial. And so where I was going, because I went on a tangent. So with the LinkedIn page, I think it would be great for the artist to put their art that speaks to a more commercial, if no, yes.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing. What's crazy is that I wanted to see something. So as you were talking, I went to LinkedIn to go search those hashtags that you were talking about. Poetry community, and poetry is not dead was another one that came up, right?
Poetry is dead?
Poetry is not dead.
Oh, okay.
That was those were the 3 hashtags that showed up, right? So under poetry, there were like 5,000 users or 5,000 followers.
Okay.
Under poetry community, there were like 400 followers, and then under poetry is not dead, like 100. But here's what's really interesting. When I click the hashtag poetry, and for anyone watching this, go do this as I'm telling you to. You too, as I'm doing.
On LinkedIn?
Yeah, go to LinkedIn, do hashtag poetry. One of the first posts that popped up was from a young man who says, you know, last year during Ramadan, I was invited to perform a spoken word poem at the 4th annual Austin City-wide, I don't know what this word is, iftar,
Okay.
featuring a U.S. congressman. You don't think he got paid for that?
Ooh. That's good.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I
That's
know.
good.
So it's just like there are people, there are creatives out here who have found a way to do commercial work, get paid for it, have high visibility, and this young man is on LinkedIn.
Got it. That's good. Because I was going to say, you know, if you have anxieties about posting your work that may have curse words and things of that nature, put the clean
Yes.
work on LinkedIn. So that's no longer a thing that,
Think like
you
the
know, kind
radio
of
or something like that.
right. Put the clean version, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So the other thing that I want to mention is like when I said the U.S. congressman. So she is one of the newer ones, right?
Okay.
And, I think what's her name? Ihan Omar. I think that's how you say her name. So
Okay.
yes, I'm looking at the picture here. There's literally probably somewhere between 300 to 500 people in this room.
Really?
Yeah, tons of congressmen, government officials, business people.
That means she got booked again.
Oh,
If she was good. Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
That's
But I mean, like, if you want to see what people are posting related to your work, your artistry, your craft, you can easily do hashtag whatever, right? And then figure out, you know, just look at the post, right? And see what people are posting. Go check out their profiles. If you want to even model your profile after, you know, the person, then that would give you an idea. This young man, which I think is funny, you said IT, he actually is a product strategy manager.
oh.
Okay. Okay.
See, graphic design works in the same lane, like you said. Those two, you can put those together.
Yeah,
And
but he's IT. He's doing HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, Tableau, you know, SQL, Excel. But he does spoken word too.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and
Oh, that's the spoken word person that you were talking about. I thought you were
yeah,
talking about the
yeah.
graphic design person.
No. And he's also a DJ. So he has that. He has that with his product strategy manager and DJ work all on one profile.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. Yeah. Yeah. What's
Okay.
up?
All right.
Okay.
I got it.
We trying to get all the bags, the 9 to 5 and the 5 to 9 bags. So
Yeah.
playing.
It mixed the bags up.
Exactly. I mean, like it's possible. It's possible to have one profile where you're mixing your artistry with your 9 to 5, right?
Yes.
If you want to have the conversation with your boss, like, hey, boss person, you know, I
Yes.
have things that I do on the weekend. I gotta combine the, you know, because I gotta leverage my network. Okay, cool. If you're just like, I want them out my business, I don't even want to have that conversation.
Right.
Create your company page and do your work from there.
Yeah.
It's just whatever you do, you got to do something on LinkedIn.
So in a nutshell, let's get professional, basically.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go from mom and pop. You know, oh, he writes poetry. That's cute. You know, to he's a spoken word artist, and he's able to, you know, shine in a room full of presidents and congressmen and evoke emotion even from those higher whatever people, you know. So yeah, okay, got you. And use recommendations from the people that you already know that can prove that you are good at what you do, but then the videos show what exactly you do and how you do it, and the reaction that you get when you do it.
That's a good summation. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I mean, people don't want to hear. People don't want you to tell them what you do. They want you to show them.
Show them. Show and tell.
Okay.
My kids and I, we do show and tell on Fridays, and I think that's the perfect analogy to life, because everybody talks, but not a lot of people show.
Mhm.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited about what I have going on because, you know, I'm going to post everything on LinkedIn now. You know,
Good.
because yeah, no, I mean because we really have to look at what we're really trying to do. You know, because we'll get caught up in the popularity of it all and
Mhm.
think that's you know, like a stamp in our book, but the question is am I able to also pay my bills with this? But if you're not trying to do that and it's a hobby for you, okay, then you're in the lane of you just love to do what you do. But again, it's the question of where are you trying to go with it?
Mhm.
You know, and if you're trying to get serious, get a LinkedIn page. And when you do, it's time to get professional with that when it comes to it. It also adds to getting a website. And yes, still get those, you know, social media pages. Those are still important,
Mhm.
I believe, you know, because you can further show your work and the proof, which is the comments and the likes and things of that nature. Because
Mhm.
you know, companies still want to see that as well. They want to see the social engagement. You know,
Yes.
whether or not you have fans, because the new marketing is the influencer marketing.
Mhm.
That's a bag, you
Mhm.
know, because it saves companies a lot of money instead of going to TV and things of that nature and radio to going straight to the people that have people following them. So I'm excited. Bianca, you kind of lit a fire.
I'm over here on
Are you taking notes
LinkedIn,
over
like
there, Jay?
I'm on LinkedIn like, all right, let me see what I can
Yeah,
hook up right now.
Yeah, it's just again, it's such a powerful platform that I think a lot of people have just kind of pushed off to the side. They don't
overlooked.
know. Yeah, they just don't know what's possible. And like, I try to do research, on a monthly basis because I do a lot of talks, right? And I want to have the most update information. I want to hit people right when I start. It's like, all right, you want $16,000 raise? Bam, be on LinkedIn.
That alone, just I said, "Oh man, it made me frown."
Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't even hit you with everything. I mean, like, the decision makers, I think is really cool, right? But
Yeah.
you start thinking about there's over 675 million people on this platform around the world, and you talk about the buying power, the decision making ability. The country that has the most users after the US is India. So, like, if you start having like world domination on your plans, like Pinky in the Brain, like this is the platform, and people don't treat
Good
it.
place to be.
Yeah, like people don't
Mhm.
treat it the same way like they treat Facebook and Twitter. Like Facebook is like, oh, we're not friends. I don't want to talk to you, right?
Right.
Twitter,
Right.
everyone's shouting out into the universe, hoping that someone's listening, right?
Right.
Whereas on LinkedIn, the users there have a different mindset. Everyone's
Whole
trying to
different.
get a new job, make more money,
Mhm.
right? Someone's trying to do new business, get more clients, get more customers, get new partnerships, get an introduction to the CEO over here, the principal over there. Like it's just there's a different mindset. Like people are in business mode, money making mode. Facebook is I'm chilling out. I'm
Yeah.
I'm scrolling. I'm trying to be distracted from the Rona, right?
Right.
Mhm.
People on LinkedIn is just where's my next bag coming from?
Mhm.
Where's my next partnership? Where's my next job? What's trending so I can work on that thing so I can get my next, right? So like
Right.
I start putting this legacy together. And I just wish more of our people would stop consuming and be more creators. And then put their things that they're creating in spaces where people can consume it and then start giving them some of their resources.
Right. Right. Because artists ask all the time, "How do I get booked?" Well, the decision makers are over here. And you can go directly to the decision makers, but you also can see who do you know that is connected to them. And so you don't even have to go directly to the decision maker that might for whatever reason look at you like, all right, I'm too busy. You can go to the person that's connected to that person and say, hey, can you put a bug in this guy's ear and
Exactly.
say, hey, this is what I do.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like everyone's trying to go get on, Bill Gates, Oprah, Beyonce's, Michelle Obama's calendar, not knowing that they could probably get to a Valerie Jarrett or,
The assistant,
you know,
the bodyguard, the
somebody, right? So listen, no,
yeah,
you got it. You guys got it. So I'm excited to, serve this community in whatever way that I can because I need more color on LinkedIn. I can't be the only one. I be saying all types of stuff, and some people think it's funny, some people don't. I don't care. I'm gonna be me, but I just really want to open the door, kick down the door for really amazing content. So I'm looking for y'all to bring the fire. So
So we're going to help you do that because your episode comes out on June 15th. Our episodes drop on Mondays, but the same week, you are our Poet Life professor for our networking with the Poet Life, and so we invite poets and artists to come into our Zoom. And basically, after they have consumed this awesome conversation that we just had, we can also go into a deep dive into screen sharing LinkedIn and learn about the different tools, the back office, how you can separate your personal page from that, but also the media section to create your resume of videos. And I implore everybody, that is June 19th, the Friday of the week that the episode drops. We do that with all of our episodes because we really want people to learn. As you see in the bottom left corner, Poet Life University, we're going to have Bianca, stay with us and continue to teach folks how to use the professional route in social media. Not just because people say social media, they just get fun and social media. Let me create a meme. But that's the busy stuff. Because if we're going to build this poetry industry, we have to stand out. And we have to go to the platforms that allow us to stand out and not just in a room full of crowded people.
absolutely.
So, and that's LinkedIn. Bianca, thank you so much for
thank
gracing this stage here. You blew me away just coming on with the 16,000 more just being on the platform. So that's
just being there, being in the right place.
Wow.
Right place at the right time, definitely.
Exactly.
That's good.
So could I say one thing about the art gallery?
Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
For anyone who's watching the episode, please go follow it. Is brickroseexchange.org. So brick like brick on the wall, rose like a flower, exchange.org. That's the website, and it's the same name on IG. Give it some love, share it with some people. I know, like, when we get to a point of having events, I would love to have as many people in there. All my stuff got shut down, so I had to convert and really focus on the digital, but I'm just really trying to expose the space to as many people as possible. So if you're in Baltimore, come on through. Of course, hit me up on IG first. Don't walk at the door because I'm not taboo there. But
hit you up on LinkedIn.
Yes, hit me up on LinkedIn. But thank you for having me. This was a fun conversation, and like I said, I think creatives have such an important place in the world, and I don't want you guys to be locked out of LinkedIn and opportunities, for the sake of just having a job, right? The world needs your art, so please show up.
Well, we want to help you with that, because that helps us as well. We book artists to perform places, so and when COVID does end and the world opens back up, let's partner, let's network, and that's another way to build the poetry industry. So if you need poets, DJs, musicians, we're linked. We're linked in.
Literally.
I said, "Oh, that's gonna be real good." Let me say that real quick before I miss it. J. Rod D, just I don't want to leave you out. Say something before we close out.
Man, I'm just glad we had this conversation because this is hitting on so many things that I was thinking about since this not since quarantine started, but since this new year started, 2019 and 2020. And it's been a lot of things a lot of questions I've been dealing with is how to step out there, what to do, what platforms to hit first,
Right.
strategies and just methods. So what you shared, the principles you shared, the jewels you shared, I'm taking notes. I'm on my laptop right now looking up some stuff and trying to spruce some things around. So I'm definitely sharing the word. Another thing about the gallery, when I found out about it, I sent it to a friend of mine because he's an artist, he's multifaceted artist, so to say. Not so to say, but he is one. And he has a lot of paintings around, and we're looking for some spaces. In addition to another thing we wanted to do, I'll tell you when we get off the air. And so it's interesting that everything's coming back full circle now. So whenever all this clears up, definitely gonna be in contact with you about events that we have planned to get his art out there, to get the poetry out there, and this is a perfect networking experience within the interview. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
This was an awesome episode. Super excited. You know, we shoot these episodes at night, and this is gonna have me up all night because now I'm gonna be on LinkedIn till midnight. And but but I'm gonna be productive. Because I'm gonna get my portfolio section together and everything, and it's gonna be because of you. And I'll make sure that we are linked with you on LinkedIn, and then we can do some more networking. Everybody watching, please check us out on everywhere. Now on LinkedIn, link with us on LinkedIn. Make sure that you get a page on LinkedIn, whether it's with your personal page or a business page or both. But as you've heard, you would be a smart person, to like just push pause now and
Go ahead and
just go
step
to
out there.
LinkedIn, create a page. Yes, you'll get those emails, but I think it'll be very worth it. Um, Please follow Miss Bianca J. Jackson. Let me make sure that we can everybody see her social media. There it goes.
Yeah.
Bianca J. Jackson. Is that on Instagram and Twitter, or where's
No,
that?
that's Instagram, and you
Okay.
can find me the same way on LinkedIn.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Follow us. This is Poet Life Podcast. Please follow us, but also uh, uh, leave a review. We are 5 for 5 on iTunes, and we have about almost 30 reviews. So we would love for you to add to those. We are doing awesome, and we would love to have you on if you're doing some major things in the poetry field. If you notice, we're bringing on people that are going to help us uplift the poetry community, but also build the poetry industry. So we want to see those out of the box major moves that you're making, so you can also teach someone else to do the same. Because that's the way that we can, make this thing happen. So this episode, obviously, by the time you're watching it, it's already live, but it goes live on June 15th. But the Zoom where Bianca J. Jackson will be teaching us how to grow our poetry brand will be on June 19th. And you can look on Eventbrite and register. So thank you all for checking us out. We have some major things happening. Our next episode is going to be awesome. I'm not going to spill the beans. You just got to come back. So subscribe to our YouTube page, which is Poet Life TV, and follow us everywhere at The Poet Life, but also at Poet Life Podcast. Follow J. Rod D. His Instagram is right there. You can also follow me, Christoph Wrights, but make sure you follow Bianca J. Jackson if you're serious
Please
about
do
what
that.
you're trying to do, and add to her 45,000 followers on LinkedIn. You all have been great. Miss Bianca, do you have anything to close us out?
Uh, yeah. So one last thing. So I have an ebook for anyone who's just like, I don't even know where to get started, right? So you can find it at bit.ly. So bit.ly/LOL hyphen ebook.
Okay. Okay.
And it'll take you there to give you some information about what's in the book. You put in your email address, it sends you right to the book. So
Awesome. Thank you all. And to all, a good night. Follow the Poet Life Podcast.
Introducing the Poet Life Podcast. Go check it out today on your favorite platforms, including iTunes, Apple Music, and the website, thepoetlife.com.
Find a way, find a way. Ain't get no time now. You in the way, I'm doing fine now. Out of my business, find a way.